it was a zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
There
know,
was
That's what I heard.
I saw
hundreds.
pictures of people out at the beaches, man, and they were like the beaches were packed, like just
Yeah,
ridiculously, and like every beach. I saw
no,
pictures from
like
every beach.
no parking in any boat ramp. There was like 20 boats for every square mile. It was ridiculous.
There's not a boat or fisherman shortage, is there?
Oh no,
Yeah, no.
absolutely. Yeah,
Not on
people.
Saturday when they came out of the woodworks, that's for sure.
And people
Yeah.
have been at home, man. They've been itching. Dude. They've been ready to get out there, get on the water, and just like as soon as they have a certain level of confidence that hey, I'm not going to get pulled over or harassed on my way to the to the boat ramp, then I'm gonna take my chances and be out
Yeah.
there. So, but all right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So today we are here at the I'd Rather Be Fishing Happy Hour with Billy Gerke. I think I said that right there, Billy.
You got it.
And Captain Andy Salinas. So the two main men here, two guys out there, man. You guys saw them, I guess, several weeks ago. You guys, I saw a lot of pictures from South Padre Island and Port Isabel. Actually, it was right before kind of the whole things went down here, where you guys were out there fishing hard, wade fishing down at Port Isabel, South Padre Island, that area. So yeah, so thanks guys for coming out here to our little happy hour. So I've got another Modelo today. So last time I went out, I bought a 12 pack, and so I think that should last me maybe 3 or 4 shows, or one or two. I don't know, but we'll see.
Depends how good the shows are.
Yeah, it depends on how she. Actually, I went through half of that with Brian, man, just yeah, a few days ago. So it was definitely a definitely good conversation, but. Dude, so welcome, Brian. So welcome to our show out here, and just I mean, everyone. I mean, we all grew up like I got into wade fishing maybe like 4 years ago, and like I remember how like the gear I went to, and I went to Academy, and I found some stuff there, and they're like, hey, this is all you really need here to get here, and it was a belt and a stringer and a kit, and that was kind of my first experience with you guys here. So, and then over the time, I've learned a lot more about the different products you got out here. So, but yeah, we're gonna touch all that stuff and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Billy Gerke. I'm the president and founder of Forever Last. For those that didn't know, we started the company back in 1998, basically out of our garage. And you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but Oprah used to tell all those stories of people sitting on their living room floor packaging stuff up. That was me and my wife. Um, Graduated from Texas A&M University back in '96,
Whoop.
and I survived that somehow. I wouldn't claim that I have a lot of book smarts, but on the common side, common smarts, I've done okay. But really been a blessing to us. Just a dream started with one product, and a lot of people helped me along the way get where we are today. We don't take any of that for granted ever. We're a family owned business. We don't have shareholders or anything like that to tell us what to do, or what their expectations are or anything like that. It's pretty much up to us, and I plan on keeping it that way if I can afford to.
Yep.
but but we've come a long way, and like the first belt you bought may be different than the one we have out now, just because of evolution and change. And I think you come up with this idea and you go, man, this is the greatest thing, and then you might go out and use it, or a couple years pass and you go, you know what, we need to change that a little bit. This is when we first came out with belts, for instance, back in 2005 was the first year we brought a wading belt to market, and it had a buckle in the front. Who thought of using Velcro, right? I mean, I thought, well, that probably wouldn't hold up in water,
Yeah.
Velcro. But anyway, as we evolved, those buckles, I hated them because you could never get them adjusted just right. You get a little fatter, and
Oh,
you
nah,
have
well,
to adjust.
yeah,
You
especially
eat
right now
food,
after quarantine, being locked up at home, eating, having happy hours 3 nights a week, and eating a bunch of Doritos. Yeah, we know about that.
so just like that product evolved into the Velcro, um, you don't have to worry about how big you got over quarantine. You it self adjusts every time you put it on.
Yeah, it's not a slap in the face, right? Like the buckle is still there, right? I mean, the strap is still there. It's not telling you, hey, you need to open it up another 2 inches at a time.
Exactly. And it's an inspiration to see people like you guys coming into the business, and then a fresh look, a fresh start, a fresh method of reaching people, right? I mean, we've all had to learn how to do something different because we've been used to going to the restaurant and sitting down and eating with our family. That hadn't happened in a while, as we all know. So just like those things evolve us and what we do in our daily lives, it's the same for our company. We're always learning. We don't know everything. We don't act like we do. We try not to anyway. We just want to evolve. We want to always be the company that listens to the customer. Never say, hey, we got this. No, I mean, we need to interact with our people, our guides, Andy and those guys, and have everybody's input, and always listen and say, hey, we might could tweak that a little bit. Of course, it doesn't happen overnight, because we've got a warehouse full of stuff that we have to sell, right?
Yep.
And so, every time a load comes in or we get production done, my fingers are crossed nothing's wrong. Because, that would be bad. But we've been pretty fortunate. And we've got good partners. And I know a lot of people are bashing China right now, right? Man, I've got some really good friends over there. So I take it kind of personal when people pick on them because we can't blame 3 billion people for the acts of a few people.
Yeah.
We just can't. Some of our products are outsourced. Yeah. We try to keep all of our retails at under $50, which I know everyone appreciates when they go their wallet out.
Yeah.
And, so that guy that's always griping about the overseas thing and stuff, I say, well, we can make you one here. Are you willing to pay $150 for it versus $50? And they're always like, whoa. And I'm like, well, that's the reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. And, we've always had in mind, I want the CEO to like our products, and I want the guy that's working his way up to the CEO level to like our products and to be able to afford them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of who we are in a nutshell. I mean, we're family. We're about God, family, friends, and the great outdoors. If I have to put it in 4 things. And people and relationships are everything to me. So, this company it lives right deep down inside of me. So if somebody picks on it, I get defensive.
You have to. It's your baby, right? It's like someone's talking
That's
about
right.
your kid or something,
That's
right?
right.
It's like yeah. So you go to school to A&M, like obviously, and so you go to A&M because your parents wanted you to go to A&M, or you just go there and then like what did you study and like how did that happen? Like you go and you're like, all right, I'm going to go to A&M to do whatever it is that you tell us right now, and then you end up selling fishing gear.
I chased my dream and went to Southwest Texas on a baseball deal. So that I learned real quick that a boy from a small town baseball team wasn't going to be thrust to the starting lineup. Right? So I put my time in there for a year and a half, and I decided, you know what? My 2 sisters had gone to A&M. It was tradition. And actually a friend of mine, my best friend, he was my best man at my wedding. He called me. He says, hey, dude, I'm transferring to A&M. I need a roommate. I said, I'll tell you what, things are pretty good here in San Marcos, but I'll put my application in, and if I get in, I'll come. And so I put my application in, and guess what? I got in. I don't know how.
It's a lot hard. It's a lot harder these days, from what I hear. Like, which is, I guess, is a good thing. Like, it's just like so many people want to go out there. But so you go to A&M, and so like you're going out there, and you're going in there with the idea that I guess at this point you're not playing baseball anymore, huh?
No, I gave that up. Started to do the intramural thing, have fun. hell, somebody took me to dance across Texas in Austin, and I said, "Hey, this is college life. This is what I'm talking about. This 8-5 baseball thing ain't working too good, so I might try something different." But I transferred to A&M. I studied ag business because I was pretty dead set on what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an ag chemical sales rep for farmers, ranchers, that type of deal, in a distribution position, and that's what I ended up doing. I went to A&M. I think I studied the Dixie chicken there more than anything else.
You can actually get credit for that. Yeah.
Pretty familiar with the walls in that place after it was all said and done, but I made it, and I did an internship with a company and got an offer out of school and went to work for them. And man, I had it made. I had a good job. I had a company truck, a company phone. I had an expense account. I had everything that I had dreamed of. Well, I didn't know that God had a different plan for me, and He planted the seed of Foreverlast in my heart. And in 1997, I still got the check. I should have got it out for you guys, but on December 10th of 1997, I wrote a check to an attorney in Houston for a patent on a product. Had no idea how to market it, how to package it, anything. I just said I'm gonna try it, right? What have I got to lose but about $5,000?
but you had a truck and an expense account. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was moonlighting for sure. I was moonlighting, but anyway, that started it, and I think I got so deep into it, I said, "Damn it, I got to sell something, or I'm gonna go broke," you know. And that started it. And like I said, I had a lot of people help me along the way, introduce me to people in the manufacturing side and overseas and things like that. And one thing leads to another. And I walked into Academy, their buying office, and here I'm as green as the screen behind you. And I didn't know anything, man. And the guy goes, "Hey, where's your license, your insurance, deal?" I'm like, "Well, I'm working on that." And he goes, "And where's your UPC barcode?" And I was like, "I'm working on that one too." So he goes, "Well, I tell you what, you keep working on those things, and you come back and see me next year." Man, I was deflated, you know. And
yeah.
I walked out of that meeting, and I was just like, "Man, that didn't go so good." But hey, I learned something, and many and sleepless nights happened, and I decided, hell, do what he said, and let's see what happens, you know. And so I put all that together and went back in for the next meeting, and he goes, "Dude, I never thought I'd see you back in here." He happened to be an Aggie.
All right.
That helped.
Yeah, there you go. That network right there, yeah.
And I came back in, and I think he just felt sorry for me, and he goes, "Hey," and it was a single tree to hang a deer on. You know, it folded out, and it was pretty simple, but it was cool.
That was the first product that you came out with. That was what the patenting was around, and everything was around that. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's still in our catalog today. It's a portable gambler. Anyway, so I go in there, and I had all that done, and I'd found an overseas contact and all that good stuff. And the first time I went in there, I had a price that was really inflated, and I came back in at a good price point, and I had all my stuff done. And he goes, "I never thought I'd see you back, but buddy, here's your order. Let's roll." And he said, "I really like your logo." He said, "I think you could expand on this." I said, "All right, man, I'm gonna try."
And it was Foreverlast from the beginning. I mean, that's where you started off with, or?
Well, you know, Everlast was the punching bag company, and I said, "Dude, I ain't going up against those guys." So when the logo was drawn, it was Everlast.
Okay.
And if you notice, it's got the little 4 in front of it now. And that's how it all evolved. I mean, because I didn't want to pick on those guys. They had tons of money. Hell, Rocky Balboa was
they got Mike Tyson back there. They'll send to your house right there.
I didn't bite my ear off or something. I mean, I wasn't going to do that. So anyway, that's kind of how things started. And then we came out with a couple more hunting items. And then in 2003, the idea of the Rhaegar boot was our second patent filing. And that's when I learned about the saltwater fishing market. I didn't have a clue. You know, I really didn't. I fished quite a bit with my father-in-law and my wife's family, but all on a Carolina rig. And
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, man.
So anyway, we did that, and we weren't fancy. You know, we had the basic stuff and some pretty stiff rods, and but as I started to learn about the fishing world a little more, you know, I began to understand what was going on there. So the Rhaegar boot hit, and I'll just tell you a quick story real quick on that. I had to order 1,200 pair.
Damn.
Yeah. I had to order 1,200 pair, and that was damn expensive.
You take a second mortgage on that, dude.
Yeah, especially because I just got married
Oh
and
yeah.
we bought a small home. I
Yeah.
think everybody's been there at once in their life, right? Broke as hell. And I went into a meeting at Academy with a different buyer. You know, you see a fishing buyer, you see a hunting buyer. And so I walk into that meeting and he just laughs. He goes, $119 for a pair of wading boots? And I said, yeah. I said, I really think people are going to catch on to this because they want to protect themselves from stingrays and underwater structure. And he goes, well, and luckily again, the Aggie Network, the assistant buyer sitting in the meeting, her name was Megan Harris, and she said, Kevin, I think we ought to give these a try. And she goes, I'll take it from here. And he goes, all right, fine. He said, we'll put them in 5 stores, and we'll do 104 pair. I said, okay, well, at least I got something, you know.
Yeah.
I walk out of there, and I'm like, dude, I've got 1,096 pair left. It's,
You got 10%, yeah.
oh, man. And so I was feeling good, but I was like, okay, these things have to sell now. Because if they're sitting there collecting dust, we're in trouble.
So you went and bought them all yourself, the first batch of them?
Yeah, we had to freaking label the boxes, box them, the whole deal. I mean, it was crazy compared to what we do now. But anyway, I come home and tell my wife, so we start labeling the boxes and get all that ready. And so they go out to these 5 stores, and it takes a week or so for them to get into the stores through their distribution channels. And so I get a call the following Monday from Megan, my Aggie friend, and we're still friends to this day. It's pretty cool. But anyway, so she calls me. She goes, hey, man, I got the sales report for the week. And I said, you did? And I was just like, oh, gosh, is this going to be good? And she goes, we sold 25 pair. And my phone won't quit ringing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. She goes, how many do you have left? And I said, well, 1,200 less 96 pair. And she goes, we will take them all. And I went, are you kidding me? She goes, no, we'll take them all. And I was like, oh. Dude, I was like, yes! So, that really kick-started things. And then they were like, hey, man, what other ideas you got? So the wheels started turning, and I guess, as they say, the rest is kind of history. But I worked my other full-time job till 2007.
Okay.
And both my kids were born. Ty, my oldest son, was born in 2002, and then Lane was born in 2005. So I had two little crumb snatchers to think about, right? And then I had insurance. I had cell phone. My wife is a registered nurse, but she quit working when Ty was born in 2002. So we were on one income plus the business. But it started to really take off. We brought the wading belt and stuff to the market in 2005, and stringers, things, some of those things, and things started to evolve. So I was like, man, it's now or never.
Yeah.
It was damn sure hard to turn over that credit card and those truck keys and all that stuff, but it fueled me to do better, and those little crumb snatchers, they motivated me, and I said, I'm not going to let this fail. We're going to make this happen. So it actually doubled our sales the first year, and from there on, we just like anything, it don't matter what you're doing, you got to hustle,
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it's evolved, man. It's come a long way, and man, what a blessing. I mean, that's all I can say is, what a dang blessing, I don't know if y'all can see those trout over my shoulder, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I never dreamed I'd catch a 31 and a quarter inch trout, but it's all evolved, and I've learned to love that, and I don't keep them anymore. That was my first one. Now we let them go, right, Andy?
Oh, yeah. Proof in the videos too.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's just I think you grow, you become more conservative, you appreciate what God's given us, this resource, and the anglers that appreciate the resource, and that's the guys we pick for our pro team, pro staff.
Yep.
The godly men that exuberate those type of characteristics, and that's who we associate with. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's definitely, I tell Fabian this. It's always all about people, right? And the people you back, the people that support you. It all comes full circle. I'm a big believer in karma, and kind of the good you bring into this world is the same, that you'll receive. And if you don't, then who cares, right? You put it in there. You did what you could to put it out there. The other thing that really stands out, I mean, like a lot of people kind of live their lives this way, like, hey, I want to do this until I can do what I really want to do, right? And you kind of talked about that right now. And Fabian and I have had this conversation because Fabian's kind of just made this jump here recently. But the idea is that you're working your full-time job. There's a lot of security in it, and then you make the jump to. In your case, I mean, you kind of had these things working in parallel, and so what was that like? I mean, what was going through your mind? Like, man, do I really want to do this? Am I prepared to do this? How do you talk yourself to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I just learned real fast. I'm better at taking orders from myself than other people, but I wanted more. I wanted more for my family. I wanted to own a piece of land. I wanted to build my wife her dream home. I wanted to provide a good living, and I knew, I mean, anybody that works for someone else, I mean, you're always going to be suppressed a little bit. I try not to make my employees feel that way because I've been there, and that's good because I realize what it is to work for someone else. But, you got to dream big. I mean, you got to go take risks, and you got to dream big, and you got to look beyond this year and kind of look forward and say, you know what, if I give it all to God, he's going to put me in the right direction, but I've got to give the effort. I've got to have the right attitude. I've got to give the effort. And I think if you do that, you can't fail.
Yeah.
He's not going to let you fail,
Yeah. Yeah, man, you really can't like I'm a big believer, at least me personally, right? If I'm gonna bet on somebody, I'm gonna bet on myself, right? Because I know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed. But some people don't have that mindset, and that's okay. I don't think you have to have that mindset. Like a lot of people and are perfectly fine with kind of going and working their 9 to 5 and then having that security, and then and I think it's fine. At the end of the day, I think it's about being happy, right?
That's exactly right. Some people don't like the pressure.
Yep.
Some people don't like that pressure. And hell, there's sometimes I didn't like that damn pressure. I mean,
but now you're mindful of it, yeah.
That's
well,
why
I'm right there with you, brother.
That's why he wears hats all the time.
And hey, I've had my ups and downs, man. I've had some demon fights. Business will do that to you, especially in times like these. You've really got to stay focused and and think right, take care of yourself, and be positive because and you got to rely upon people around you to help you. You can't close people out. It's a great time to be talking about this because we're all facing things right now that we're not used to.
Yeah.
It's been thrown in our lap, and hell, we're not used to this. But we got to persevere and we got to stick together and lean upon those people you can count on as true friends. A lot of people turn their back on you, but you kind of figure out in these kind of times who your true friends are.
Yep.
I think a lot of times, and at this point, I've heard a lot of people say, you find out who your friends are, during these times and so forth. But I think also, another I guess question that's answered is that you find out who you are, because a lot of times, people will rally to you based on what you've done in the past, and you don't realize what you've done or what you haven't done until you face times like these. And I've talked to Sam and I've told him, I've literally sat in my truck and just shaking my head and said, damn, the community has really rallied around our requests in a sense, and this past month and a half or however long we've been in this thing, it's been a lot of community help, and you kind of look back and it's like, man, it humbles you, that's number one.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's one of those things where you kind of find out who you are, as a business person, what type of confidence you're going to have, are you going to crumble like yourself, I pray every night and say, not only pray, but I say thank you, for the opportunities we've gotten, man. It's crazy on how people have responded for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Andy and I were talking about this not too long ago. I mean, we like when all these lockdowns and restrictions got down, we're like, man, like what are we gonna do to get by? Like it's just like we rely so much on kind of the fishing industry and the fishing community and kind of that. And Andy's a full-time guide, right? And so when they tell him, hey, you can't get out on the water, like it can be concerning, right? Alarming and build some things around that.
Go from working to cold turkey and one day to the next to see an island go with thousands of spring breakers and tourists and families to completely shut down, to everyone has to leave, hotels shutting down, restaurants. It was very different. It was used to working, knowing you're going to have work ahead for the busiest times because, this is the time of year people want to go fishing. The water gets warmer. People want to go, like on Billy's side, people want to go wade fishing already. It's not 50 degrees anymore. And everything just completely shut down, 100% shut down. I remember I called Billy, I texted him and I said, hey, hope everything's, going good. It just came to a halt. I mean, everything just 100% stopped.
Yeah, and from one day to the next, right? It's just like,
yeah.
And so we went to the Houston Fishing Show, and that's where we chatted there with the guys from Forever Last 2. But the idea around it was, I think that was like the last weekend where things were open, because I think some people got sick at the Houston Rodeo, and then after that they just like canceled and everything like that. So we were pretty fortunate. We had a lot vested in that, right? And so we were lucky that we were able to capitalize on that and make a return on it. But man, like it's just like there's a lot of things that happened, like a lot of spring break, a lot of things that kind of got shut down because of that. So we've had to make some adjustments on our side on kind of how we operate, and I'm sure you have, you too, Billy. You've kind of made some adjustments to that. So what is like the last 2 months, really, or month and a half, been like for you guys? What have you guys been doing different?
I just pulled my employees together and I said, look, we're facing some unprecedented things coming forward. We're going to work our butts off, and we're going to get the orders filled that we have, and we're going to hope and pray that we get some more coming in, and we did, and we are. A lot of times in our business, orders are booked out, for 2-3 weeks, so we had enough to last, for a little while. But we even shifted gears, and we kind of went to social media and kind of started reaching the customer directly. I posted up a video on our a live feed. I've never done that, and it was well received. I think 45,000 views or something like that.
Wow, yeah, wow.
It's just like, dang, maybe I need to do that more often. But
you do. I think you do. Yeah.
I basically talked about what we're talking about here, how we started. We're not a huge company. We rely upon you as our customer, and we appreciate you. And, we're here to serve the fishing community. We do hunting as well. So we serve our customers. And I announced that we were going to be announcing our pro staff, which has been an ongoing deal since that live video. Kind of told about, some people make fun of these pro staff deals. They're like, another pro staff. I kind of take
it's not about that, yeah.
I take ours pretty serious. I mean, I'm supporting the guys and gals that have a passion for it.
Yep.
That do it for a living, that put food on the table by doing that for their family. And so, no, we don't. If you look pretty or something, you're not on our pro staff. You have to be in this business in order to join us. And I knew immediately when I met Andy, somebody like Andy, who is working for his family. They just had a baby.
Yep.
I think 3 days before I got there, and the baby's in. Hell, I said a prayer on the boat on the way out because the baby wasn't doing well, and but I knew I could see through his eyes. I could see into his heart where his passion was, where his family was on his mind, but he had a job to do.
Yep.
And you doing that, and we had that NICU bracelet on throughout all the photo shoots, and I was telling my wife, I said, well, getting to fish with Billy and introduce myself, and, but having my, in a way, our son with us there. He was on my wrist. I had him, with his name, with the NICU and everything. And I remember wade fishing with Billy, and like he said, and he was on my mind. And I looked down at my bracelet. It was with him and the NICU, and I think Billy said he had to get home early, and that was kind of a relief, knowing that as soon as we got back, I could go and be with my son in the NICU, and I know Billy had to get home because his son had to play baseball. Correct. Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things where everything, it fell into place. It wasn't like we got our fishing trip rushed. It was, a short, photo shoot, but everything fell into place the way it should have. Like Billy said, family is the number one thing. Billy wasn't going to miss his son's baseball game to catch that one more red or one more trout. And it messed me, and that, when I saw that in Billy, it was very, very awesome to see. His family is still coming first, and then that was awesome.
Yeah, it's all, we all have a bigger purpose in life, right? Whatever that purpose may be. And as long as, how aware of it are we at any given point in time, and kind of being able to contextualize things. I see it a lot here. I see it more now that I'm here in like kind of lockdown, working from home, right? Obviously, I'm here on my computer all day. And sometimes my daughter comes up here and she wants to play something, right? Whatever. And Daddy, will you play with me? And typically it's like, when I'm at work, I can't do that, and I got a lot of stuff going on. And it's just like, but I do make the 5-10 minutes at a time because of that. Because in my mind, it's like in a few years, she's not gonna be asking me to play with her, right? She's gonna be trying me to stay away from her. So I'm trying to make the most of it these times. I'm really kind of appreciative, kind of looking back at these last few weeks, kind of the things we've been able to learn about ourselves and that. So it's definitely, again, I'm a big believer that all of this is all about people, and it's all about paying it forward. And whether or not you get it on the back end, then it doesn't really matter.
I totally agree.
So Billy, so you mentioned in that you started off with the hunting stuff, and then you brought in the fishing stuff, and like nowadays, kind of what's that balance between stuff? Is hunting stuff more, fishing stuff more, and did you kind of do that as a way to kind of diversify in there? Obviously, hunting and fishing season. Hunting season in the winter, late fall or beginning of the fall, kind of going into winter. A lot of that fishing stops. And then, or a lot of the hunting stops, and then fishing picks up. And it was that kind of a way you were thinking, this is how I need to do this full time?
I'm not that dang smart, so it kind of evolved. It kind of evolved with what I was doing. You fish a lot this time of year, and like Andy said, the water's warm, so that's where you shift gears. But then when fall rolls around and that first cool front runs, the neck starts to swell, and the hunting side, kicks in, and it's what I've been passionate about. And I had an opportunity to take products and turn them into, I can manufacture them, I can make them, put them in packaging and sell them. And so it just evolved into a year-round cycle. And I would say on the percentage of business, it's pretty close to being equal. I mean, we do snake leggings, we do game feeders. We're just coming out with a new fish feeder, which it crosses over for fishing and hunting because you can run corn through it or you can run fish food through it. So it's kind of it really fits, it really fits as well.
Yeah.
We can market both, and so I would say it's pretty equal. You guys know that the coastal fishing market, wade fishing, is pretty limited to a region.
Yeah.
You go into Louisiana, they don't do a lot of wade fishing. Hell, it's a march.
Yeah, they got a bunch of gators out there in their brackets.
Drop those down in Andy's waters, he probably wouldn't get in either.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you should make some gator boots.
Yeah.
But those new ones he's coming out with, those are pretty cool. You got to show us stuff.
Yeah, the Regard sock. Yeah.
Well, actually, someone was asking about them right now. So the people are asking when the new socks would be available, if they're not already available.
We're hoping to start shipping those around May 20th.
Okay, so in a few weeks.
That's our goal. Yeah, that's our goal. And, a lot of things have been delayed.
Yep.
I ordered some, of the protective mask. I think I've got one here. these dudes here that everybody's having to wear.
Yeah.
I ordered those, and they didn't make it as timely as they normally would. So shipping's been delayed. Things have been delayed. So we're hoping that shipment is on time. But we're saying May 20th to June 1st in that window is when we're hoping to get them in and get the shipments rolling out. We're real excited about those.
Now, when you're making a product or when you come up with a product, I mean, is it a product that is a solution to a problem that you personally have? Is it a solution to a problem that you see that people are having? Or is it just a product that you think people may need?
Well, it's typically like my father-in-law and brother-in-law got hit by stingrays that year.
Gotcha.
And I said, man, I got to make a boot to protect us. I don't want to get hit, right? So it came from that. And then I used to wear a wading belt that was made by Newmark. Y'all remember Newmark, the old blue? That's been a while. But I used to wear one, and I really liked it, but they quit making it.
Okay.
And I said, man, that's a shame. And I said, well, hell, why don't you start making it? And so that's how that evolved. Somebody got out of the business, so I got into the business. And then, we'll be out on the water, and my son learned a belt, and it had the Velcro front. Well, it kept rising up on him. He's tiny, so it didn't fit as tight as it does on us. and right there, I went, you know what you need? You need a cinch where you can cinch that belt. If it starts getting loose on you, you peel your Velcro and you cinch it. So we put a cinch strap on the G4 belt, and that's where that came from. So it's always like some of the products just evolve from doing the sport, from fishing or hunting, whatever it is. And, there's often times when I see another manufactured product and I go, man, I don't like that at all. We could tweak it, make it different. Typically, we don't do that that much. When we've done it on some, but like the snake guards and the snake chaps came from the ray guards. Mm-hmm. We were making ray guard shields, and a buyer said, well, why don't you put camouflage on them and call them a snake guard? Ding ding. And it turned into one of our best-selling products. We sell a ton of those, all the way from Arizona, Utah, to Texas, to Mississippi, Louisiana, all the lower states that have snake problems, they sell. So it's been a really good product for us, and that just came out of evolution of one product to the next. Yep. Changing the damn color.
Camouflage. You can't go wrong with camouflage on anything, man. You put camouflage on anything, and it makes it cooler just right off the bat, and something people want.
I'll tell you what, man. I put a lot of confidence in those snake boots. We live out here in an area where there's quite a bit of rattlesnakes, and it's been maybe twice where I'll walk around very nonchalantly if I have them on. I don't look down or anything. There's been a couple times where I've hit a couple. Luckily, they haven't struck yet, but there's a lot of confidence in those boots. So I hope they work.
You don't want to find out. It's like insurance, right?
A lot of stories, come back and so one guy said, "Man, I'm so glad I had your snake shields on. I had a cottonmouth hit him 3 times."
Wow. No shit.
Yeah, and stopped it. He said, "Y'all saved me,"
So is that boot the same material?
Yep, same material.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
So
you get that question a lot, but those the snake shields have been out since 05, 06, and knock on wood, they've stopped every snake. Now I can't help it if it hits you in the thigh.
You just gotta make stockings out of it.
And everybody always asks me about stingrays. I said, well, if you can tell me how big the biggest stingray is, I can tell you if it'll stop it. And they can't. So hell, I don't know. I mean, bulletproof vest, you can't shoot a 50 cal in a bulletproof vest or you're dead. So that's
the beauty of it. Not only that, I mean, I have those boots, and again, it goes back to the type of person and company that you're running. You made those affordable. And I remember there was a flash sale going on your website, and a buddy called me and goes, "Hey man, you want snake boots?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, what's going on?" So he goes, and I look at the website, and I'm like, "Oh crap." So I'm like, I bought them, and now thank God I have some, but it's like you just by the pricing and the way you do these sales, you show how you want to help the community, how you want to help the outdoors person, and it just kind of it says a lot about a company, when you put that and you make those type of sales.
Yeah, we got one going right now. It's 25% off site wide
on your entire site, on your website.
anything you want on our website is 25% off. And we're doing it till the end of the month, which I think it ends tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, you got one more day, so there you go. If plenty, just
we've
get
been
out
doing
there.
it. It's been going for 2 weeks, and our website's been crazy. But it's just one of those deals. I want to help everybody out because, hey, first of all, the retailers are shut down.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all sitting and looking at our computer, and we're going, "Damn, I wish I was fishing." And it's just an opportunity to kind of help everybody out, save a little money. And I don't want to hurt my retailers, but they were shut down anyway. So that's why we put the date of the 30th on it.
And even if they weren't shut down, people aren't going out to buy that kind of stuff, right? Like you run out to the grocery store because you need milk, but not to buy that kind of
looking for waiting milk,
Yeah, absolutely. So outside of Academy, I mean, do you distribute across to different retailers outside of that, or do you work to distributors?
Yeah, pretty much every bait and tackle shop along the coast is covered by a couple of distributors that carry them to them.
Okay.
And call on those guys. And then we have Bass Pro, Amazon. You can go on Amazon and find our stuff. Cabela's also. And then we sell to a lot of distributors that thrust it into their markets. So it kind of goes out into retail
all over.
Yeah. It's hard for us to track, but I'll have somebody tell me, "Hey, I saw your stuff in this store," and I'm like, "Oh, that must have come from that distributor." So we support every level of distribution, and then so it finds its home in a lot of different stores that I don't even know that it's in.
So one of the other things I found pretty interesting here is, I personally think that y'all's social media stuff is on point. Like I like the way you guys kind of run out there. You guys got some kind of the frequently asked questions on your Facebook page. You get out there, you kind of go out there. There's a lot of engagement. There's a lot of kind of reposting of like, people that are using your products. You're kind of putting them out there. Kind of what's y'all's philosophy on that, or how do you guys go about doing that?
That's just been a work in progress. Just like everybody, we've had to learn, our social media presence. Where are we going to fit in, and I want it to reflect who we are. I want it to reflect who we are as a company. Everybody that works for me is honest as the day is long. They will work their butt off to make you happy as a customer. And that's just been our philosophy, I guess, with our social media has been let's reach our audience, but let's not overwhelm them with just product,
with sales.
Let's show them how these products can make a trip work, where people are having fun with it and enjoying their life and the outdoor world we live in. And so, that's kind of what we want to portray. And we've got Jenny Nagamiller is our social media director, and we brought her on a couple years ago, I guess already. It's probably been about a year and a half. And she does a fantastic job. We'll picture something, and she does a great job of kind of knowing what we do because she lives it too. She loves fishing. She loves hunting. And so, I give props to her. She's really good and just been a great team player for us. And, we're all still learning. I think we just topped 25,000 followers. And I can remember starting out and going, man, we got 200 people following.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, and we're getting there. I don't think we're even close to where we want to be. We dang sure want to reach more people, but it just takes time, and it takes them going, man, I want to tune in. I want to see what's going on here,
I'm a big believer in stories, right? And so it's not the products, it's the stories and the memories that you help support and build. And I think you guys are doing the right thing in the content that I've seen that you guys are putting out across your social media platforms. That it's that story, right? It's like this is what fishing is all about. And whether it comes down to going out and catching a lot of fish, or being out there with some buddies and just hanging out, or being out with the kids, that's the whole story. That's why people keep on coming back to fishing.
I always say it's the memories that people remember. Even if it was a catfish, stingray, it's that memory that, hey, they're going to keep going on. People are going to talk about. It's their first fishing trip. If they're happy with the 15-inch trout. You know,
Yeah.
that's probably their biggest fish. You know, so
Yeah.
a lot of guys, oh man, that's a small fish. Don't worry about that. But you got to realize every fish could be their last fish or that memory that they'll never forget. And that's the way I see it every time I'm out.
Well, you're out there a captain. I mean, you meet a lot of people, right? You see a whole lot of people that have never been out there fishing and people that have been out there and want you to show them some spots, right? You've seen it kind of everything out there. But kind of one thing, so Andy and I met several years ago at actually a dove hunt. Andy does some dove hunt guiding. And so my buddies, we went out there and we had some conversations and it was just like really cool and I really had a blast. And so we went out fishing and it's been several times that I go out fishing with Andy and my dad goes. And my dad likes to fish with Andy more than he likes to fish with me. So so my dad had a choice who he's going to go fish with, me or Andy. He's going to choose Andy, but ask if I can come along, kind of the way it's going to work. But nonetheless, like my dad, like he just likes hanging out with Andy because he knows when he goes out there, we're going to have a good time. It's not going to be really serious, but we may or may not catch, some really big fish. And so Andy has like a tremendous amount of kind of like that offshore type fishing too, as well too. And so I've got a boat that we can kind of take some of these areas that are pretty, especially in federal season. And my dad will never forget, like every time we talk to him, he talks about catching an amberjack with fishing with Andy. And for him, it's like, it's the most, yeah, it's the most memorable thing, right? And it's just kind of like the kind of people, the kind of experiences, the bonding that you do when you're out there, whether it's fishing or hunting or whatever it is you do. And that's the kind of stuff we like to promote, and obviously that's the kind of stuff that you guys are kind of down rooted at, and that's what I've seen in y'all's social media. So
yeah, we just want to portray that we're not some big corporation somewhere, and the guys making the decisions don't even know how to fish. I mean, we actually go out and do the same thing. We wear the same stuff, and we take care of it the same way you do. And so that's kind of what we want to portray is, we're just guys that love to fish and hunt, and we happen to sell products for it, and we love what we do. I mean, and that's kind of what we want to portray, and everything. Every message we put out is, hell, I'm never going to be negative about it. It's going to be a positive message, and we're gonna always give it up, to our Lord and Savior, and that's how we're going to run our business. If they don't like that, they can get off. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, and it definitely shows, and it definitely comes across. And not only that, with Andy, I wasn't aware that he was on y'all's staff, and when I did find out, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Andy has that personality and that characteristic and that character out there, of just putting it and making it a good time. And it's not about that. I mean, and I see that from a lot of, I'll know a lot of guides, and I'm not expecting ever an invite from anybody. I mean, I know that's their job and that's what it is. But Andy, right away, I think a few days in, hey man, let's go fishing, and whenever you're ready, let's go. And that's his job, and it's like, and that's where you kind of learn the character of these people, where they're fishing. Yes, it's their business, it's their job, but they're fishing because they love it, and it definitely comes across.
Yeah, you learn to build that bond. Just like I've been, trying to get Billy to bring his two boys down,
So we can't even leave our hometown.
Not yet. Here pretty soon, yeah. Here in a few weeks, hopefully. Friday, I think, is when the state technically opens back up.
I guess Andy's kind of an exception to the rule because typically most of our guides, or our pro staff people, are, seasoned. I mean, they've had 8 or 9 or 10 or hell, I've got some that the one that's being announced tomorrow night has 42 years of experience guiding.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
Dude, same as James Alexander, and we're gonna announce him tomorrow night. But
we won't steal that from you.
Yeah, coming up. Andy will be coming up. I think I'd have to look, but I think it's like May 2nd. But anyway, so Andy's kind of an exception. But what I saw that day impressed me enough. And I mean, it was just one of those things. I said, he's right for, he's what we believe. He's what we do. He's right for our team, right? I'm a pretty good judge of character. I can, I'm not an old man, but I'm not young either. So I've been around a lot of people. But pretty good judge of character, and I knew right away he was a good fit for us, and also Ruby Delgado will be joining our team. I think she has a lot of characteristics that we like because she, we want to welcome females into our sport and children, and we want to have a well-rounded team, right? And we want to promote all aspects of our sport. And I've said this. I said this on our live deal. I don't care if you fish with shrimp. I don't care if you fish with some fancy lure some guy painted. I don't really care. As long as you're doing it legal and you're doing it the right way, and just enjoy the sport.
Yep.
I don't like people that knock other people for doing it one way or the other. It's not up to you. It's up to them. Yeah. They bought the license. They get to go fish, right?
Yeah. Yep. And it's not even about that. Like, in me, it's just like, again, like I kind of find the least common denominator across anglers is just kind of like getting out there and enjoying the water, enjoying Mother Nature, enjoying being out there, whether you, like you said, whether you're using shrimp, croaker. Obviously, croaker, people get a lot of bashing for using that, but whatever it is, like, it's just getting out there and enjoying your passion and being happy and kind of having that disconnect from your life. Like, that's the least common denominator across everybody. So why judge someone for how they do it, right?
Leave the hate and leave the hate at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not only that, I mean, it's just a lot of people don't realize that, fishing and then just being outside, man, it does something for you. It does something for a lot of people. And, just being out there and not worrying about, if I throw a shrimp, someone's going to look at me wrong. Or if I don't throw this particular lure, someone's going to look at me a different way. And I realize that fishing is just, it means a lot to certain people, and it does a lot for certain people. And, we're pretty, I'm pretty patriotic. I'm not a veteran or anything, but I heard a story of a guy who invited someone else fishing. The guy hadn't been fishing in a while or whatever. They get on the boat, and the guy was a veteran, and the guy tells the one who invited him, hey, man, I was about to end my life when you called me. And he went fishing, and that's what fishing was for him. It's like, it was something so simple as an invite to go fishing. And when I heard that story, I'm like, it's fishing needs to go back to fishing. Yeah, it needs to go back to just wetting a line and enjoying God's country, like we call it. And just, you know what, man, go out there and just fish. Don't worry about what you're using. If you don't catch your catch, it means a heck of a lot for a lot of people. And it's kind of, it seems like it's losing itself, but there's a lot of people like y'all who kind of bringing it back. Hey, let's just go fish, period.
I really think that that mindset applies to whatever it is you do in life, right? And so regardless, there's a lot of reasons you can judge somebody, but you really you don't know the context of their life or the context of their situation, right? This guy, you could say somebody, you could look at someone based on the way they're dressed and judge them, right? And but you don't know this guy's, he's laid off or whatever, and he doesn't. There's a lot of things, right? And so for me, it's just around kind of placing judgment in general, like regardless of, we talk about it in fishing, right, whatever, but you don't know what people are going through. You don't know that someone has cancer or is going through a divorce or going through whatever, or having PTSD, right, whatever. There's a lot of variance and factors, and you only see a small little bit of anybody at any given point in time. So why are you going to judge somebody based on that, right? Like anything, just, again, pay it forward, do what's right, treat people with respect, treat people fairly, golden rule, very simple things, but very, very
and I just
hard
think
to
we're in an industry that can do so much for people, in a very positive way.
Absolutely.
If you keep that positive in it, and we're just blessed with that opportunity to be able to do that and give that to people, and go back to just basic fishing with your dad type of memories.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier about taking someone fishing, and you never know if that is their last fish of their life. You build that bond with them, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantees in tomorrow. So so make every fish, no matter what it is, that special fish for that person. I've had guys that, when they go wading, particularly, they want to get left alone. They don't want you there. They don't want you there with them, walking next to them, helping them with their fish or whatever it may be. They go out because they need that alone time, and you got to learn to respect that. Or I get guys like you were talking about, per se, lure purists or bait purists. I get guys that they just want to sit there. They don't want to have to work. If they catch, they catch. They go through that bait chunking, the shrimp, whatever, popping cork. It's just a fish that they're wanting to catch just to make their day. Like you were saying, you don't know how their life is at home and or what they have planned for the future. But it's just to make that day special for them. Yeah. And if they want to sit back and catch a catfish all day long,
just be out there and enjoy life. So I obviously we went through a lot of theology and kind of just the psychology type aspect of it. So we're gonna kind of put Billy back on the spot here. Specifically, so Billy, you mentioned your first product was a hunting fishing. Now you have a lot of fishing products out there too. So what's your preference? What do you enjoy doing more, hunting or fishing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think hunting. See them doing hunting stuff.
It just depends on the time of year.
Fair enough.
I know that's an easy answer, but it's almost like a switch for me. It's time to fish. It's time to hunt.
There you
go. That's just the way. When fall starts to hit, fall football, I start getting in the mood for hunting. And my boys play football, so I'm limited on time with fishing. We fish a lot in Baffin and the upper Laguna Madre. And we have got to spend more time there the last 3 weeks together as a family than we have in a long time. Because of the situation. No school, no athletics, nothing. And it's been a curse, but it's been a blessing at the same time. But, man, I have a passion for both. I mean, there is nothing like the thump on a soft dime waiting in Alizon and just wondering, is this a 30? Or
31 and a half over there in the back.
Is she a castaway or is she behind me? That's what intrigues me about fishing. There are no boundaries. Nobody can tell you where you can and can't go. So there's some truly awesome things about fishing. I truly love low fence hunting. I mean, I've killed deer in high fence. It doesn't feel the same to me. But I like to go to Kansas bow hunting. I've been going there since 2001. It's a passion. And if I'll turn I killed that one and that one in Kansas.
With the bow.
Deer hunting myself, and that was an incredible area. Saw a lot of deer there. That's for sure. We went up there pheasant hunting though, and it's a beautiful place to be.
So bow hunting big whitetails on their turf, and having to I called both of those in by rattling, and they came within 20 yards, and I killed them. That to me, that's an adrenaline rush. Wow, it's like when you see that big yellowmouth come out of the water.
Yeah.
And you, holy smokes, and you're trying to hang on for dear life, and you're trying to get her in, and it's the adrenaline rush comes from both sides of the coin, I guess you'd say. But man, there's nothing like going out with a group of 3 or 4 or 5 guys and slamming some fish and high-fiving and drinking a beer and having a good time. There's nothing like that. But there's also nothing like the tranquility of you against a very smart animal and trying to outsmart them on their turf. So, man, I love both equally. There's just some differences that fire me up, on both sides of it.
Yeah, awesome. Andy, and I know you do a lot of hunting as well too, so I'm going to ask you the same question too. What do you prefer, hunting, duck hunting? I mean, you're out there, and actually, so one of the things I like about Andy, in the winter, you can do both with Andy when you go duck hunting and fishing out there. But what do you prefer, Andy?
Oh man, that's a hard one. Like I tell everybody, they give us usually 63 days a year to duck hunt. Okay, you get 365 days a year to fish.
Yeah.
So I try to those 63 days out of the year. If I can duck hunt at least, that morning or that afternoon and then fish, it's a plus.
It's a great day. No, it's not a place. It's an amazing day for me. You got to do them both. What, two birds, one stone, one day.
Yeah, it's a good enjoyment. Like he was saying, it's very different. Like, for example, duck hunting, to be able to work a duck on a call, be able to sit there and watch a duck come into either your decoys or that call, or knowing they're coming in is a very special thing. And as well as when Billy was saying with fishing, getting that special big thump, all of a sudden you see that big yellow mouth coming out, or they're both a very, very exciting thing. And it goes back to like the dove hunting. I think when I took you, seeing 300-400 doves at a time, as fast as you guys can possibly load.
I was the only one that could knock them down, dude. None of my buddies or none of the other guys that.
I'm not dropping one.
Yeah.
I knocked them all down in every shot. I think just that day. Like, sometimes two with one shot.
Yeah. You see guys with cases of shells, 250 shells in a case. You got 15 birds. That's the odds are pretty good. You would assume, right?
You would assume.
It's the same thing, man. Going out there, having a gun, shooting rounds. It's the same. Like each round, you can consider it like a cork, right, or like a shrimp. Sorry, and just going out there. It's not about how many birds you bring out that back with you. It's about being out there and just hanging out with your buddies.
Both of them, and they both got their own special relief in the day. It's very hard to choose. That's for sure.
So you're not going to give us an answer either. so I think the answer is that it's too close to call.
I fish all year. I have the ability to. That's where it changes. And like the duck hunting, you get 63 days a year. If I could do it all year, I would probably fish and hunt every day all year. It's hard to. I guess at this point, because duck season's over, I'm kind of like
you're out of that zone, right? But like Billy was saying, come football season, the fall's coming in there. Yeah. You just naturally like a bear naturally hibernates. Like it's just like you naturally switch gears and know without even knowing. So actually, I've got Thunder, one of the guys I worked with in Louisiana. He's a big duck hunting guy. He's up there. Victor's asking questions about the socks. Victor, you did miss it. We said May 20th, 21st is when the socks are going out there as well too. And we've got a pretty good amount of engagement here, just across the board. And one of the things that stands out here is just I've been posting comments as they've been showing up here, and we have people watching, as far as I know, from Louisiana all along the coast here. So definitely a pretty good audience, definitely pretty good people watching us here and adding us. And Danny is watching us from Midland. So Billy, you are reaching the land of Midland. I bet you sell a lot of snake boots out there in Midland as well too.
Chaps. The oil field was buying a bunch of them at one time, but that'll probably take a little break here.
Yeah, it's going to slow down. It's going to slow down for a little bit. Hopefully, this Saudi Arabia, Russia kind of these oil prices can stabilize.
The main thing is we got to get Americans back to work and get this country rolling again.
Well, things are opening up here in Texas here, I guess on Friday, right? Friday, May 1st is when.
I think they were doing a 25% capacity, which as I'm talking to restaurant owners, that we personally know, and bait shops and stuff like that, 25% capacity on a mom and pop shop is a very, very difficult thing. But it's going to take time. It definitely is going to take time.
But it's a start, right? Yeah.
At least they're starting there.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a start, and it's going to take time to build up. It's something no one has ever faced before. It's like I said, it came in a blink of an eye. From one day to the next, everything stopped. No one really planned this, so there's nothing we can really predict about what's going to happen. We can only hope for the best as what's going to happen.
So you say that, but I do think there is some things that we can do as consumers.
Yep.
I think we can be mindful that there are these mom and pop shops, and even if they're out there, go out there, support them to whatever capacity we can, right? And knowing that they're opening up there, granted, following whatever requirements or restrictions are in place, but. And then, I'm going to give a shout out to Jacob here because I know Jacob's watching right now, but Jacob's actually booking several. Jacob's got a boat. He goes out fishing, whatever, all the time. And he's booking several guides over the next few periods of time, really the next few weeks, just to kind of help supplement that, right? He'll kick off this thing. He's like, hey, like I know you guys have been, but I'm gonna make sure that you guys have a little bit of business, and I'm gonna do my part to, as a consumer, to contribute toward that. So I do think there is things that we can do on our side to help kind of kickstart the businesses that are and the individuals behind some of the businesses that really have had it. Really haven't had the chance to operate over the last few weeks or a few, So,
are you opening
no doubt.
Is that
your shop yet? Have you opened the doors to your shop?
No. Actually, Friday is going to be the main one, or the day that we're going to do the whole, 25% type of thing. But we've been doing the curbside for about the past week, where they're ordering online. I'm taking it out to them and so forth.
Good. How about you, Mr. Billy? You guys opening your doors yet, or have you guys opened them? Public?
We have been open because we actually own another business called Brush to Bay Outfitters, and we have ammunition and guns, and so we're essential. So we were able to stay open through the crisis. So it allowed us to, people were buying ARs and ammunition like it was they weren't going to make it anymore.
I saw that on shops. They didn't have any. Did that affect you guys when that happened, or did you guys stay maintaining your guns in your shop, or did you guys, like a lot that I saw, run out and you couldn't doors open?
We ran out at times, but we'd always get a new batch in, or go source out or find some and bring some in, and then we'd post them up and they'd be gone pretty quick. But it's I'm thankful because my employees got to stay at work and got to keep working through it all. That was the key. We didn't have to furlough anyone through the process, and didn't have to cut any salaries for them because their families depend on it too.
Yep.
And it's been a blessing for us not have to shut the door.
I think for us it was real frustrating because we're still getting online orders and stuff, and I'm there working at the shop on my own where the door's locked, and I see a car pull up, look at the sign, and walk away. I'm like, God, there's that one customer, and we just opened the actual brick and mortar, in January, and it's like trying to where's that awareness, it kind of threw that wrench, and that gut punch, and like, God, they were barely. But like I said, thankfully the community kind of rallied around us pretty good.
We're gonna get through this here, so it seems like we're already kind of taking those steps to kind of move on and progress through this. Kind of the big thing, and kind of even where I work at, there's like this whole like remobilization plan, right? So, you're kind of going from this heightened alertness to kind of you still want to be alert and mindful of that this thing's still out there, but you don't want to you kind of starting to ease kind of relax some of the restrictions and precautions that are in there enough out there, because this thing could easily spike up again and kind of put us back to where we were a few weeks ago, right? So anybody that's going out there needs to be mindful. That's why they're asking people to wear these face shields and continuing the hygiene practices as we have over the last few weeks or few months. So we'll see how this stuff continues to go, and we'll just make the best of it and continue then doing that. So Billy, Andy was telling me about some of the new products that you guys are coming out with. I mean, he saw some of them. We were talking about some of the nets out here. We talked about the socks. I mean, what new things do you guys got coming out here?
Well, the main thing on the fishing side is the Ray-Guard sock, the Kevlar sock for protection, and then we came out with a new net, just a different color scheme pattern, but it's been very popular coming out of the gates. a lot of our products just, some people just didn't know about them, and they're learning more about them every day. So, to some people, there's a lot of new things. And
Everything's new, yeah.
And to others, that knew about them or whatever, they're showing others, and it continues to grow and flourish and those type of deals. And then I mentioned the fish feeder. That's a big product for us. That's we just introduced, so it's doing well. Tractor Supply's got them in select locations. Bucky's is picking up the bigger one, some of their locations. So slowly but surely we're going to get that thing going, and just a few new items that we're excited about there. I think the Rhaegar sock is probably the most exciting product.
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions about that here, and people tuning in,
Very
just asking about it.
sure.
Yeah, definitely looking out for that.
And Jacob was asking, but we did talk about it, like you said. He,
Jacob, Victor, and someone else were asking about them when they were going to be released, but. So I mean, I try to keep this at an hour here, guys, or less than an hour. Obviously, like a lot of these shows, just like anyone else, like I feel like some of these, that it just, again, like I call this a happy hour because I'm always at a happy hour, and it's really kind of when my wife calls me and says it's time to go and you need to come home or whatever it is, or we shut down the place and they tell us they're kicking us out. So so nonetheless, but I do want to give you guys, Andy, you're back on the water now full time, or kind of what are the restrictions there on guides?
As of right now, until May 1st, hopefully everything does change.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, we're restricted to 2 people.
Okay.
2 people per boat greater than 20 feet, and 1 person per boat under 20 feet. And I know, I guess it depends on the person and how serious you take it, but I'm taking this 100% serious as it gets.
You have to, yeah.
I've got a newborn son, so if they tell us 2 people until May 1st, it's going to be 2 people. You just got to take that precaution. Like I think I was telling another guide buddy, it was difficult for a while to find bleach, to disinfect the boat. And that's one thing they want. Luckily, before all this happened, we had our son on the way, and we bought bleach to disinfect the house. So thankfully, as of right now, we do have the bleach to disinfect the boat, all the handrails, the seats, anything that people may touch. Just trying to do our part, like how you were saying, a face mask before anybody gets on the boat. That's the first thing I tell them. They can't get on without a face mask. Coolers, they got to bring their own coolers. They don't want people sticking their hands every day in the same cooler. They don't just safety stuff like that. All our fish cleaning tables are closed. I don't know if they're open yet or not, but I know because they couldn't.
Yeah, I think they're still closed. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't catch fish anyway, so it's not a big deal. So
you take them home whole all the time. I know that's one thing. Every time I take you fishing and your dad and everybody.
Oh, it's because my grandpa likes to make soups, man. My grandpa's like old school. He all the flavors in the bones, and he wants to make a soup, and no part of the fish shall get wasted with my grandpa. So.
All those heads.
Absolutely, that's the best part for his soup. So he gets mad, but so Andy, but you are taking charters now, even like at a reduced capacity for 2 people for at least till on Friday.
And like I was telling my wife and some friends, even if they tell us we can only take 2 the rest of the summer, that still works for us. It's not nothing to complain about. It's to still keep in mind this virus is real, and just keep yourself safe. There's no reason not to. If this does get lifted and we are able to take more than 2, that's great. But keep the sanitary going, keep the face mask on, because you just never know.
Yep. And people can reach out to you. I mean, you're pretty responsive on Facebook at Thumbs Up Charters
page, and it automatically shoots a message out if I don't reply. It shoots my phone number out to you, so you can call me. But usually, as quick as I can, I do reply. If I don't, my phone number automatically gets sent out to the message, so you can call me. And that's a Thumbs Up Hunting and Fishing Charters on Facebook.
Right. And Billy, you kind of alluded to this. You spoke about this 25% off the website, all website sales. Tomorrow's the last day, huh?
Tomorrow's the last day of that. Then we're going to resume normal business activities, we hope. And I just encourage everybody to support the local shops, the local retailers, the local guides, because I've never seen Amazon on the back of a Little League T-shirt or anything like that. So, our local economies and businesses thrive off of what you bring to them. And I'm a big supporter of our community. We do a lot in our local community. And I just encourage everybody to do that for sure. If a guy's starting a business, man, try to support him. Even if it costs maybe a few dollars more on an item, think about it bigger than just being a price tag. Think about it being he's trying to get it off the ground. Let's give him a little help. Let's try to lift him up. Let's try to, make it stick, and that's I'm totally supportive of that, and that's what I would encourage everybody to do is, hey, once this is lifted, let's get out and help each other out. Let's spread the love. And I know a lot of people have been shut down. A lot of people have lost jobs. Thankfully, I've heard most of the unemployment things have been working for a lot of people. So some of them are even getting more than they were on their job. I don't know how that's all going to work out. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they haven't had to work for that money, they're willing to spend it, right? And so, just encourage everybody to think about turning that dollar over as many times as you can in your community because it helps everybody.
Yep.
And, whether it's a guide or a bait shop or a tackle store or the food place, whatever, turn it over as many times as you can so we can help each other out of this crisis. We can get back to normal. Like Andy said, we want to be precautious, but we want to be ambitious.
Yeah.
We want to beat this thing. And we can't let it control our lives and our daily activities. I haven't since day one. I said, I'm not going to let this control me and be on a stop for me.
Yeah.
Now, we have to follow the laws. Yes, no doubt. The law says something, we need to do it. But at the same time, it doesn't mean we have to stop living.
Yep.
And we just need to keep living, guys, and we need to enjoy the resource that we have and be thankful. And be thankful we have a community like we have, I think it's pretty unique.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Billy. Thanks again, Andy, for coming out here. I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on here, and I appreciate your time. I spoke with Andy a little while ago, and obviously his little boy was kind of very animated at the time, so definitely I know Stephanie's probably waiting for you to kind of take your shift on watch.
I was called me earlier, and I had him out.
But definitely, thanks a lot, guys. I mean, I think that the big message here, regardless of we talked about products, we talked about fishing. The big thing that stands out to me is just paying it forward, being good people, and remembering that everything's all about people and do your part to help out where you can. So I think that's a good way to end it here. And again, guys, definitely thanks again for coming out here, and look forward to talking to you guys and pretty soon and getting out on the water here pretty quick.
Sounds good, guys. Hey, appreciate y'all having me on.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. All right.
Take care.
Good night, guys. All right, bye.
Good night.